doing great control on the Widowmines. Oh! Scan by Nathan. And lag from Gandalf. Good lord. Do you lag precisely when you mean to? I have to ask.
No, Comcast. Someone is watching the stream from Comcast, and they are nailing me with the good moments.
Ah, well, the first mistake was trying to use Skype with Comcast. But here comes the push here from Nathanias, and he's going to send a few Marines out the 4th base as well, which might be enough to do a little bit of damage, maybe pick off a Queen. In the meantime, Nathanias' small army is going to get enveloped by a huge number of Lings, which are about to be 2-2. Nathanias has a small edge in upgrades for the time being. This little hit squad down there has done some damage. The Mutas are coming in, and they should be able to clean this up without too much problem at all. 2-2 is about to kick in, as well as +2 flyer here, so Destiny's still looking really, really good. Nathanias on fairly low army supply, but his worker count is looking actually too good. He's completely oversaturated at the 3rd base there. Wants to look to try and take a 4th, although with Destiny with that large an army, I'm not sure if he's going to get the opportunity.
I think the Widow Mines are a bad investment. I think he'd be much more successful if he was putting Hellbats into them. They take a little more control, but you're a little more guaranteed to actually do some damage.
Yeah, you know, Widowmines, if you don't control them, are rolling the dice, yeah? It's like a Mad Bomber in Hearthstone. You just place the damn things and you hope that they don't kill you. And you can see them right there doing absolutely nothing other than killing a Zergling, hitting a Marauder, and even with a large field of mines, it does nothing unless you control them, and Destiny just steamrolled the front completely. Now that 3rd base is exposed, very much so, and I have a feeling it's going to be very dead very quickly.
Yep, nothing really to hold it. Only 1 turret, 1 bunker. This base is gone.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Didn't even need the Banelings there, really. There's, frankly, enough +2 Mutalisks to kill these Marines anyway. They're coming out a little bit at a time, and the production's going to get camped here momentarily. It's definitely possible for Nathanias to push this back, but with reinforcements being rallied across the map and no harassment. And bear in mind, Nathanias has only killed 6 workers this entire game, and Terran are kind of supposed to harass. He wasn't able to do that. And unfortunately, I have a feeling Nathanias is going to drop this map pretty heavily.
Yep, that's key. You can't let Zerg get 4 bases like
GG.
Destiny is in GG.
Destiny with the nice start here on Frost. I mean, just playing straight up, really. I'm always interested to see that Destiny seems to like to go for the +2 flyer attack before a lot of other players do. That's intriguing, and not a lot of players really prioritize that, but his Muta use is interesting. He doesn't really use them to harass, it's mostly just for drop denial and then firepower, picking off medevacs and getting them into the big fight and just overwhelming his opponent with Lings and Baneling, which is fine. Yeah. Nathanias wasn't really able to split, and his mines were pretty awful, honestly.
Yeah, those mine hits have to be critical, and like you said, you know, there was no control over them, and that is how you make those mines count. Especially in those big engagements with a lot of Banelings and Mutalisks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If it hits the center of a Mutaflock, then it's absolutely fantastic. If it doesn't, then it's either hitting your stuff or it's hitting the occasional Ling or Overseer, and then it's just like, well, why did I even build this thing? It's a complete waste of time. Oh, yeah, that was not brilliant, unfortunately, there for the one and only Nathanias. Gonna have to step up his game. You wanna... I want to see a bit of mech from Nathanias, actually, at this point.
Mech would be nice.
Yeah.
No turtle mech. You know, did you see the game with Major last night? The stalemate?
Yeah, it actually killed my passion for StarCraft 2 right then and there. Just dead. Completely dead. It was extremely effective. Like, honestly, if I had a DNR request on my living will, it would probably be done with that game. Like, you wouldn't even have to turn off the respirator and the life support machine. Just show me that game again, and I will quietly pass into the night. No complaints. Trust me.
I was very impressed that all the gas had been mined. Enough gas had been mined that he could not just overwhelm that small force of Ravens.
Yeah, well, the cute thing is if he'd built a couple of Vipers, he could have won that game. And the weird thing is that the chances are Major could have won that game from that position. Like, when only 2 Corruptors left, it's entirely possible he could have slowly chipped away at the Queens using Seeker missiles and over maybe the course of 20 minutes actually won. But, yeah. That game was actually an embarrassment to StarCraft 2, and I certainly hope that we never see us like again, but, well, unfortunately, when you go full-on Turtle Mech versus Swarm Host, that shit happens.
Somewhat begs the question, though. Would you rather see... What do you find worse? That? Or, you know, the issues that you see with Swarm hosts?
Well, I think that one compounds the other, you know? I mean, the only reason that Major went to that particular strat is because he was under pressure from swarm hosts, and that's really the only way to cost-effectively deal with them.
Yep.
All right. Well, we are about ready to go for Game 2 here in the Gosupizza Supreme Show match. Destiny currently leads at 1-0 in this best-of-5 series. I'm just going to check if the guys are ready to go. I'll see maybe a bit of Gangnam tearing out of Nathanias on this map. Why not? It's a good map for it.
Yep, it would be nice. And hopefully we won't have any lag issues at critical moments, because I hope to goodness that I was not the cause of those banelings not getting better hits.
I'm going to blame you entirely for it. I'm sure Destiny will too, so you better watch out, man. Destiny can only play under the most ideal conditions. Anything less than that.
I will absolutely hear it. I will hear it, and his stream will come after me and threaten my children that I don't have yet.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, they'll probably make sure you never have them at all, so you gotta watch
out. You know, all those bad baneling hits, we are going to castrate you.
Pretty much. I mean, that just seems entirely reasonable. Well, Nathanias is not lifting off his command center, which disappoints me greatly. So, to the northeast position in the light blue trunks, currently down... Oh, it's a best of 5 series. There we go. Currently down 1 game in this best of 5 series. Padding out the loss stats for Team Root, it is Nathanias. Versus his opponent, who I have now decided is from Team George Washington University. To the northwest position in the blue trunks, playing Zerg, it is Destiny. They will not be able to read that. I believe you actually set to observer only.
Oh, God bless
It's okay,
you.
I can relay it. I can relay it. The organizer is asking you to be as manner as possible. Children are watching. That was what you wanted me to communicate, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Hopefully that will invoke the same response I was going for.
Yeah, I imagine it. Yeah. I certainly imagine it will. Alright, well... Nathanias is going for the barracks. Will we see a gas follow-up? Yes, we will. So it seems like Nathanias is probably going to open the same almost every game. That's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with opening with that Reaper. But what's Destiny going to do? Is he going to maybe take a risk and try and nab that gold? He is scouting. He's looking for proxy barracks here. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't trust Nathanias ever with anything.
Destiny is going to expand before pool. You know, and I can't see Nathanias going without a gasless opening. It's a dangerous thing to do against Zerg, especially on a map with such a quick rush distance.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You don't want to do anything like that. I mean, this is the kind of... Oh, dear. Oh, yeah, that was you lagging just a little bit there. Anyway, it's like, you don't really want to do that, because, I mean, a map like this, a 7-roach rush is totally viable. Just, like, general roach aggression can do a lot of damage. And, of course, if the Zerg decides to take the gold very early, they can pump out a huge amount of units very fast. So you want to watch out for that. Destiny's going to scout, of course, see, hey, oh, it's actually going to be a Marine out first here for Nathanias. And that might be a dead Overlord if he controls it well. We'll see.
But I don't think he's going to get it.
No, I don't think so. He was hoping for it. Maybe if he'd started firing a little earlier, but no, it's not going to happen. Looks like Destiny's going to get out of there with about 70 hit points. 60. Give or take. I don't know if he actually would have got that one way or the other. We've seen a few Terrans do this, actually. We saw it in WCS. I think Bomber was opening up with a Marine instead into a Reaper, because a lot of Zergs these days are presuming it's going to be a Reaper, so they're a little bit more blasé with their Overlord placement. So if a Marine pops out, you can end up getting it, which is always nice.
One of the things that I think the best Overlord kill I saw was that I think it was a GSL match, possibly, where they used the Root Cats built, where he built the what do you call it, Spore Crawler, and that Overlord came over and died to the Spore Crawler. It was a ZVZ.
Yeah, that was actually kind of great. I remember that. It was awesome. It's interesting to see Cats builds get used in GSL matches, like, and Pro League as well. Like, that is something I will never get used to. It's like, wow, this is what would happen if you took that strategy and put it in the hands of someone who's really, really good.
And, you know, that's what I wonder. Is it because, you know, Cats isn't just at that level, or is it
because Cats is bad? Is that what you're asking right now?
No. I'm asking, is it because, you know, Cats is working? Cats, you know, manages a team.
Oh, yeah, of course. You know, he's working. Definitely. He's too busy to practice. I understand. I know where you're getting at. It's okay. Don't worry about it. We're all friends here.
I'm going to blacklist myself with so many people just by this little tournament.
I wouldn't worry about it. As far as I can hear, all the esports journalism is about to die because of Reddit, so blacklisting's no longer going to be a thing.
Yep, you know, because we want to consume that content, but God forbid you give it to us yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, today, Jack Attack's sister, tomorrow, the entirety of the StarCraft 2 community. That's just how it's going to go. I heard that Reddit was bought off by Riot. Wow, Nathanias, an early Marauder here. Interesting, okay. That is, alright, Marauder Hellion. That's a little bit of a classic Wings of Liberty play. And I imagine he's probably going to throw a... he could throw a medevac down right now. What is he waiting for with this gas? Oh, yeah, it's good. Okay, it's just going to be a Viking. Yeah, so very Poltesque.
Yeah, you know, and that is... I don't know if he is expecting, you know, automatically roaches were going to be coming, or...
I don't know. It's a weird kind of blind play by Nathanias, because, you know, he scouted a pool and one gas and not much else. So
yeah, he has no vision of the rest of the build on Destiny's side.
No, I mean, he lost his Reaper, and he's currently supply blocked. Looks like a bit of the competitive nerves getting to Nathanias here. I totally understand that. I usually get supply blocked at... Yeah, it's 46. Yeah, I get supply blocked here. And at 27, get supply blocked there. And at 54 sometimes. So, yeah, I totally know. And he needs to be building a little bit faster than that, actually. This is really limiting his ability to actually kill anything. But Viking is now out, so, yeah, very Polt. It's going to get one Overlord at least, maybe a couple more. Hellions are now out as well, and they look for a third base. And, strangely enough, Destiny doesn't have one. He's going up to lair on 2 bases here.
Oh, but Nathanias taking a fight on creep against Banes and Lings.
Well, slow Banes, and Destiny doesn't really have enough Lings to surround here, so this actually works pretty well. And Nathanias is going to be able to find himself a choke point here, and he's going to roast a couple of Lings here and there. But I'm just really weirded out by these Marauders. Like, okay, I suppose you could use them to... Ah, okay, he's going Armory. Alright, so we might actually just see straight up Marauder Hellbat, which I definitely do like. The main problem is Destiny's going 2-base Spire, which is pretty much the hard counter to this.
Yep, absolutely. And the question is whether or not he throws down reactors on those and gets enough Marines out quickly.
Yeah, and he's going to need him pretty damn fast here as well. Destiny going for the surround right here. Can he get it? Can he get it? Can he get it? Yes! Yes, he kind of gets it. Yeah. That's worthy of hype, right? He sort of killed some Hellions.
Yeah, a few Hellions.
Yeah. I mean, this is where the crowd just goes wild, right? And throws thundersticks in the air and men just ripping shirts off left and right.
The dongers were raised.
Oh, they were, yes. And then the police were called. Okay, so what do we got? Armory? Yes. So we're going to see Hellbats? Well, probably not anymore. Yeah, we will, actually. Yeah, Nathanias is still on 4 Hellions, so absolutely. Let's see some Hellbats and some Widowmines and some random units. Basically, everything that doesn't shoot up. That's going to do not so well. And we've seen Nathanias' Widowmine look, right? It's not that great.
No, he's going for that potluck build. I don't like the Widowmine transition. I think he should have kept those 2 Hellions making.
Yeah, totally. I would have liked to see that, but unfortunately, Nathanias down only on 2 Hellions. You can make them the Hellbats, which is always nice. And we're going to see a drop, a single Hellbat and a Marauder. That's unexpected.
Wow.
You don't usually see a drop like that. And there's a good reason why you don't usually see a drop like that. Because it doesn't work. Doesn't actually do anything. That's the main problem. Especially if the boost runs out right before you hit the drone line, which is exactly what happened there. And Destiny's going to drive that away with his signature 5,000 Queen build.
You know, Nathanias does have a slightly more advanced third than Destiny, but if he can't get any damage done, it's not gonna do much good because Destiny's gonna run around the map with his mutas.
Yeah. Widowmine somehow has 11 kills. I'm trying to figure out where it got them from, but whatever the case, the Lings are cleaning this up quite nicely. Banelings coming in as well, and Muta's now on the field. And how many units do we have that shoot up? Well, we've got 4 Widowmines that we know are traitors, and 4 Marines, and that's 1 dead medevac as well. So this is looking all right. I mean, like you said, Nathanias does have that 3rd CC, but I don't think he's going to be able to move it anywhere anytime soon. Destiny's not going to let him.
No, he has that map control down packed as of right now. He's got enough Lings and Banes to run around. He's got a decent creep spread. It's not really, encroaching on Nathanias too much, but those mutas and those Lings are fast enough that Nathanias isn't going to put that base down anytime soon.
No, I don't think so. He might try, though. There's a Ling right there. So this is a ballsy move here by Nathanias, who really does not have enough units to actually defend that base against what currently is on the field here for Destiny, who's on like a surprisingly low drone count here. He's building 6 more drones, but he's also adding 16 more Lings into it. The single Zergling is going to start work on this orbital command, and Nathanias will be forced to move out. And in the meantime, the Lings and the Mutas are going to come in. One Widowmine picked off. Didn't quite get the second one. It would have been a lovely pick off if he got that. So for the time being, that's going to stay safe. But once this Muta count starts to go high, Nathanias, I think, is going to have to get a few missile turrets at that third base. Otherwise, it's very open.
Definitely taking this engagement on creep.
That wasn't brilliant. Destiny donating a large number of Banelings, and the Hellbat even survives, which is kind of insult to injury there.
Yep, these Mutas coming out. They don't have an Overlord with them to sight those Widow Mines.
Yep, Overseer just joined in. There's just not a lot of Mutalisks, really. The drop's going to come in here. Destiny does need to respond to that. He's going to lose a Muta or two, though. He brings in the Lings from the back, takes a couple of Widowmine shots. There's a nice little transfuse on the Mutas, but he lost 4 Mutalisks there, which is not that brilliant, considering it was to, like, 1 medevac and 8 Marines or so. So Nathanias actually trading really well there, but now the Ling run-by is actually going to come in and hit that third base, which should do significant damage. Banelings have been burrowed here. I love this. I don't think Nathanias saw it. He's right on top. No! Oh, Destiny almost with some moon-like Baneling detonations there. He did kind of catch the tail end of the force, but that could have definitely been a little bit better. But regardless, the third base is sacked, you know, and Nathanias is sent packing.
No, he did save a lot of those SCVs, pulled them out with the medevac, which is nice. But yeah, overall, that base is sacked. Destiny now moving up to 4th base. In this command center thinking it's going somewhere it shouldn't.
Yeah, it doesn't want to go in that direction. Thankfully, there's only about 2 Mutalisks, so it doesn't really matter. Banelings have been scanned and eliminated, and Nathanias, I think, should be able to re-secure now. It's a shame the turrets went down, but there's not really a huge amount of Mutalisks on the field, so, I mean, if you want to put some Widowmine somewhere, put them here. Yeah, put them just around the edge of the gold mineral patches. They're pretty much guaranteed to hit a Mutalisk or something. It's a good place to put them where they don't blow up your own Marines. Upgrade-wise, we're also going to see a pretty nice advantage for Nathanias in about... Let's see. Yeah, it's in about a minute. He should have a slight upgrade lead on his opponent. So that should work pretty well.
I definitely really like the mobility of Destiny's army, but, you know, adding in those Banelings, it has such a huge impact on the Terran, because now you're afraid of burrowed Banelings and you're scanning a lot more often, and that takes a hit on your economy.
Oh, wow. We're seeing 2 more factories go down, and incidentally, I was talking out my arse earlier. It's actually a slight upgrade advantage for the Zerg player, although that's going to be evened out momentarily here. It's a little drop, which is going to get cleaned up quite nicely. The Mutalisks do make their way in here, and Destiny is doing damage. And Nathanias, frankly, did not have enough defense at that third base, so he's going to lose a bunch of SCVs again, which is not that ideal. But what do you reckon to these 2 factories? What's going on with that?
I think maybe he's just going to start producing those... I don't think he's going to do a tech switch into mech, but I think he's going to start producing more Hellbats.
Yeah,
I hope he
like
goes into Hellbats.
Yeah, either that or just a lot of Widowmines. I mean, I'm okay with all of those things. Nathanias is building Marauders 4 at a time, which is interesting. I mean, I think he's just building them as a sponge, but frankly, there's enough Mutas and Lings to where building a bunch of Marauders is maybe not a very good idea.
Right, and that's why I like the Hellbat, because you get the splash damage soak of a Marauder, but you don't have that gas necessity.
Yeah, I mean, the only disadvantage really for that is just the lack of speed. They're very, very slow, but Nathanias is playing defensively, so it's really not that important. But a bit of damage being done to Destiny, actually quite a significant amount here. Nathanias has been able to kill a few workers and also pick off the spawning pool, so that's going to limit what Destiny can currently build. He's rebuilding it right now, and Destiny kind of forced backwards, but Nathanias is back on what's basically 1.5 bases at most. You know, he's pretty much mined out here at his main, and he's actually pretty heavily mined out at his natural as well. He was very slow to take his third, so yeah, this is looking pretty problematic here for Nathanias. I really would like to know what those factories are for, and if he's going to at least add some Hellbats into the mix, I think that would be a really good idea. But no, he's going to roll the dice again on Widowmines. Well, that's done so well for him in the past, so I'm really glad he decided to do that.
The name of the game with Terran and Zerg is, as a Terran, you have to capitalize on your victories, and his victory now was taking out that spawning pool, which means no more Lings are going to get flooded in. If he had those Hellbats, he could roast roast the shit out of lings and banelings.
True, but it does take about 5 hours to get the Hellbats over to the other side of the map, so that's a little bit of a disadvantage. The spawning pool, of course, is back up now, and the Baneling count's getting a little bit crazy. Nathanias at the front, which is great with your Marauders, unless they all get killed by Lings before the Banelings get there, and Nathanias' army gets absolutely stomped.
You have significant Arbor Supply lead for Destiny.
Yes, I would say so. Significant everything lead for Destiny, really. Just a bit of medevac skidding across the ground here. More Lings flooding in for Destiny here. He's at Hive. He can go for 3-3 if he wants. Nathanias is showing no sign whatsoever of trying to go for 3-3 upgrades. He's pretty much done with his upgrades for the time being. He's trying to survive and take the third base. Like, the only way he gets back in this game is if he somehow manages to mine for that third base, and Destiny has no intention of letting that happen.
No, he is trapped, and it's the Terran's worst nightmare, getting trapped on 2 bases against a 3+ base Zerg.
Yeah, pretty much, especially when all your Widowmines are traitors and can't hit Mutalisks for love nor money, which is exactly what's happening here. Now, the Widowmine's been totally useless. Destiny just jumps on top of the army. There's the GG, and rightfully so. And Destiny looking kind of just a little bit better than Nathanias at the moment. I think it's kind of safe to say here.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's a good game, but Destiny had the control, and that control is horrible in TVZ as the Terran player. That's what you want to prevent. You want to prevent that Zerg from getting that control of the game.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of brutal, frankly. Not a huge amount of damage really done by Nathanias. And he doesn't seem to be able to really do any solid economic harassment on Destiny at any point. And I think that Destiny kind of has these long periods where he's on a fairly low drone count, and he seems to like to surge drones a bit later. Which I think is kind of a, you know, we saw there that he stayed on 2 bases for a long time, and then he went up to his third, and then his drone count went up into the 70s. I think if he was able to harass in that period of time, if Nathanias was able to do some damage, then he would be able to gain that economic lead, which lets you get enough Marines on the map to actually stop Lings from running into your third base and get enough Marines to stop the Mutas from really doing anything. But Nathanias was always in a position where he was the guy who just kept taking the punches and wasn't really able to punch back.
Yeah, and next map we're going to go on to Overgrowth, which is another relatively short distance map, but it can definitely be good for that Hellbat Banshee to keep the Zerg from getting that far away third. And I definitely like to see that. I think that Nathanias could benefit from going that route. Yeah.
He could benefit from not ever building Widowmines ever again in his competitive career. That's usually a good idea. Do you feel that Nathanias' current lack of beard and as such manliness is the reason why he's losing at the moment?
I think that is absolutely it. I 100% believe that that he shaved, and with that shaving came off scrapes of his skill. And apparently it was enough to be impacting his game right here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% convinced that Nathanias had skill to begin with, but what I will say is I know for sure that Destiny currently has a beard, whereas Nathanias does not, which to me seems like a very important stat.
Do you think that was professional guidance? Do you think someone said, "Look, Nathanias, love you, kid, but you got to lose the goatee"?
Whoever did that is obviously killing esports, and I need to find him immediately. All right, which team should Destiny join this time?
Oh man, how about Axiom?
No, I think he's going to join Love Your Girlfriend. There we go.
Ah, there we go. That's a good one for Destiny.
I think so. You know, Destiny does absolutely love his girlfriend. Alright. Root Gaming. Okay. Nathanias giving them a few more losses on Oligolac. Dragging that team rating down. Does Oligolac even have team ratings? Pretty sure it doesn't, but never mind. Alright. They're ready to rock and roll. Does Nathanias have an Oligolac stat page? Let's find out. This is really important. Is he considered competitive enough to have that?
You know, Mattles just got an Oligulac page.
Wow, okay. Yeah, Nathanias actually does have, in fact. He is currently ranked 960th in the world. He's ranked 111th in the United States, which indicates to me the USA needs to really get their shit together. Wow, his current all-time victories against Terran are 0 in his competitive career. Apparently, so that's a bit of a problem. His biggest rival is Mafia, an Australian Zerg. Apparently, interesting.
And this is all tournament.
I believe so. Yes, there could be something horribly wrong with the Oligolac. His current form is showing a 0 which seems a little... that's a little weird, but... Oh, my.
Maybe that shows his transition into caster away from
Yeah,
gamer.
yeah, of course. You know, he's basically lining himself up for a career with Evil Geniuses at any moment. But to the southwest position here from the legendary and completely legitimate, totally not a scam team, Love Your Girlfriend, we have Destiny. He's playing Zerg in the Blue Trunks. And to the northeast position, the man who needs to get it together here, because he is currently getting his arse handed to him. He wishes he had 2-0. Absolutely not. In the light blue trunks playing Terran, Team Root Gaming's Nathanias.
Root Gaming, the Kaiser of Kappa. Can he handle it against Destiny on a third round? Can he take this game and try to come back?
I'm going to go with no. Based on his form in the first 2 series and my extensive analysis of the Illegalac stats page, I'm going to go with no at this point. It just seems like Destiny plays Ling Bane Ling Mute are absolutely rock solid, and Nathanias either just he doesn't split well enough, he doesn't kind of do enough early game harassment to really stop Destiny from just spamming Zerglings and Banelings. And as you said, you know, he doesn't use something like a Hellbat, he likes to use Widow Mines, but they just don't hit. So it doesn't really make much of a difference.
No, and I know we've talked about it a lot, but I really think that if he had gone Hellbat, that would help him a lot more in this matchup.
Yeah, I think so. It is something we're seeing slowly creep into the competitive metagame. Yeah, I think it's one of those kind of bronze logic moments where people say, "Oh, well, you know, this would be fixed with Hellbats," and then obviously, you know, it isn't necessarily fixed with Hellbats at all, because as soon as you throw Hellbats into the mix, that makes your army way more immobile than they otherwise would be if you were just playing Bio. But the main problem with Nathanias at the moment is he's just getting surrounded by huge amounts of Zerglings and getting killed. And it's not even on his opponent's side of the map, it's on his. So I think the mobility is less of an issue here than just killing power. So we are seeing players like Bomber just mix in a few Hellbats. And not just in that early Reaper Hellbat push, just in general. It's like, hey, I'm going to use my factory. I'm gonna build some Hellbats. I think Pulp was doing it a little bit more than Bomber lately, though. And he seems to be getting some success with it. It's not a big investment. Like, if you've got your armory, why not throw in a couple of Hellbats? Because they're probably going to be cost-effective. It's hard for a Hellbat not to be cost-effective against Lings.
Yep, yeah, early game, Hellbat, definitely going to be good, because mostly Lings are going to be produced. Yeah. Unless he goes for earlier Roaches.
Yeah, and I like it. I like him late game as well against Ling Bane Ling Mute, or at least in the mid game, because you don't have to do anything with it. They require the least skill of any unit. You just put them near Zerglings and you get kills. It's amazing.
It is, and you know, you might have to expect a little bit of splits if you know that your opponent has Banelings, but otherwise you're absolutely right. Just roast the Lings.
Yeah, totally. And frankly, if 6 Banelings run into your Hellbat, I mean, I'd say you don't have to do anything. It's wonderful. It's the laziest unit in the game. Like, it's even lazier than Swarm Host. Like, with Swarm Host, you kind of have to change the direction that the Locusts go every now and again. But with Hellbats, oh no, you just point them in the direction of the enemy. It's wonderful.
Hellbats are good. He did go for 3 Reapers on this map. You know, while it's not a Reaper-friendly map, this is going to force Lings, because 3 Reapers can do a number. Oh, but he loses one.
Oh, man, yeah. Destiny using his patented move slightly forward build there to take down one of the Reapers, which Nathanias was caught completely off guard. It's like, no, you would never do that. You would always attack me at maximum range. No, 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 no. Evidently not. And Destiny is not going to get that creep spread, so that's a nice little pick off there for Nathanias. But yeah, as you said, he's going for a really greedy build. But again, Destiny with his 2-base lair straight into 4 gas, so we expect to see that early Mute count.
Yep, and we do see Nathanias going to a very quick 3cc, which I do like. I very much like it. I like that he's going for the Hellions, but he needs to keep Destiny from getting his own 3rd base. And that is when this build is really going to just explode. That economy is going to skyrocket, and hopefully we'll see a lot of Hellions, Marines, and Marauders if Roaches do come into the mix.
Yeah. We'll see. He's still continuing to build Hellions, and of course no sign of an armory, so it doesn't look like we're going to see the Hellbat push there. Really early burrow coming from Destiny again. There's the Baneling nest. I mean, he's been having a decent amount of success with these Baneling landmines. So, as you said before, it forces scans, although Nathanias is going to be on triple orbital, so I don't think he actually cares at this point. But Destiny knows that. You know, he sees the orbital right in the front there with that nice little Overlord, and since there's no starport up, that Overlord can stay for a little while longer. In fact, it's probably going to get out of there with the pneumaticized carapace. So, Destiny obviously knows what he's doing here. The question is, Is he going to be able to hold back this third from Nathanias for long enough to really get his own economy going?
Well, you know, you go back to the Banelings. The Nathanias has very few routes from which to attack directly. So if he places just a few strategically at the different entrance points, that could have a huge effect on the game if Nathanias isn't expected